Kahali Hawa by Shimi Hawashai by Shimmer Kakadash, Brakati Hawa, Brakati Hawashai, Brakatara Kakadash. Start off by saying, I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone that continue to teach me this truth and who rule well. Shalom to my fellow Akim, who are the hopeful elect. So, this is this little newspaper article that I had before, and I was reading it. And it talks about the MIT secret society known as Osiris, which they claim does not exist anymore, but it does. More than likely does. So I exposed, the 666 within 630, 270 Beacon Street, and at the meeting numbers are 6 members. So it's all sixes, 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 sixes. If you take the 2 and the 7 equals 9, turn it over, 6. 6 plus 3, 9, 6. Beacon is 6 characters, 6 letters in it. So there you get your 3 sixes right there. Okay. There's also something very important that they sit in a circle. Yep, they form a circle with their chairs, which I'm gonna go into that, which goes back to the rituals that they talked about earlier. Yep, hooked it up with some interesting symbols and ritualistic practices. That goes back to those rituals that the whole organization is about, because it's connected to Freemasons. It's more than likely a Freemason recruitment center to bring these young kids into the occult that they want. Now, this is the thing about Osiris. I'm not really too keen to this. I really don't feel like reading all this nonsense, because it's all folly and fucking faggotry. But what's interesting about this whole thing here, the circle, is this thing right here. The snake eating soul tail, the arborist, which is usually used to signify like duality, the cyclical nature of things, So new life, eternal love, vitality, what goes around comes around, cycle of death and rebirth, destruction, regeneration, fertility, infinity, all going back to that as up high, soul down low. That whole thing, good for evil and evil for good, which is what our society is all about. And I want to make a pretty interesting connection to this, because this is all about life from death and death from life, about trees and religion. Now, trees are extremely, I'm not gonna say trees are extremely prevalent, but are very they're in the scriptures. Pagan trees, sacred groves, you know. Beginning with Celtic paganism, which, like all forms of paganism, is polytheistic in nature. There is unmistakable reverence of the natural world, notably trees, which were viewed as akin to persons and could be infused with the divinity of deities, usually female, but not always, both major and minor. As a precursor, unfortunately, because Celtic Druids, one of the 3 elite classes who controlled the religious and socio-political discourse and practice, did not write much down in the way of religion and its associated customs, preferring to instead pass on knowledge via the spoken word. The worship of trees is told largely by the accounts of the Romans and Christian priests and missionaries at that time. Despite this, one can appreciate the value of trees or whatever. And this begins with Axis Mundi, which the Celts considered a tree likely to represent. The Axis Mundi is like the center of all things. It was then the oak tree was It was then there was therefore probably the oak tree was the most revered tree of all revered of all tree species, particularly when it was parasitized by the sacred mistletoe, as in such instances it would be one of their deities' chosen trees. The oak would thus be found abundantly within sacred groves frequented by the Druids, used to worship deities such as this demon here, who was the god of fire. Where ceremonies, religious in nature, including at times very gruesome human sacrifice, communal gatherings, communal gatherings, communal gatherings, communal gatherings, as is seen here, okay, right, where these guys got up to meet once again, where ceremonies, okay, yeah, community gatherings for purpose of learning and socializing, and legal discussions would be held. Legal discussions, once again, going back to this. Okay. And this is what that boy, nethanyahoo.com, was more than likely a part of while he was at MIT, and probably is to this day, but probably he's up there in the 33rd degree. You know, this was just a stepping stone for him. All right. This is a common theme among all forms of paganism, as trees usually display the sacredness through ritualistic practice. Other tree species, such as yew, were also to be found within the groves, and in many instances, these groves species, including oak, and yew, would also be located near a river or other water source. Worship, in particular, would not be held indoors, but instead among these sacred groves, where no temple walls would have been built, such as around sacred locations that were often deep within the woodlands and away from settlements. So we're not going to read anymore. It's just fucking heresy. Okay. All right, so we're going to go look at here. Take the bowl, put on your father's altar, and cut down the near Asherah pole. All right. Yep, and cut down the grove that is beside it. Oh, but that's weird. It says the Asherah pole is the grove. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Groves for idol worship. A Babylonian Astarte, Canaanite goddess of fortune and happiness, is supposed to conjure a ball, images, sacred trees or poles set up near an altar. But once again, goes all the way back to this, the whole Ouroboros. That's why they sat in a circle. Once again, death and rebirth. So, more than likely, at those rituals at Osiris here, they were more than likely doing human sacrifice. They probably fucked with that heavy. Animal sacrifice, blood sacrifice, you know, all that, man. It's not just symbolic. They really got down like that, man. Just to end, let's just cut these demons. I'm in the mood. Okay, that's really annoying. Okay. And Exodus. Okay. Exodus chapter 20, verse 2. I, the Lord, Yahweh the Lord, am your power who brought you from the land of Egypt, from the house of slavery. You shall have no other gods before me. You should not make for yourself a carved image or any likeness or anything that is in the heaven above, that is on the earth beneath, or that is in the water below. Which, once again, these poles were not limited to just being trees. They could also probably be poles that they probably carved out of the woods, like those little totem poles, which are absolutely pagan. All right, I'm gonna close off and I'm gonna come right back. Okay, we're back. Let's keep it going. So we have here, we're gonna get another scripture. I just read it. Uh, yep. Judges chapter 10, verse like 15, 15, 16. Yep. So what's going on right now is pretty much our people going back up at the death of Abimelech, which was one of our leaders. He was a judge. He refused to become king. Tola rises up, then he dies. Then Jair rose up, and then he died. Then he did, the Israelites did evil in the Lord's sight, and they worship Baal. And of course, went back to those sacred trees, so-called sacred trees, and then they were oppressed for 18 years. And then, hold on, is this, what the heck? I want King James. Is this not the King James version? Oh, Slovakia. I thought this was the King James version. That's annoying. Yeah, so we're continuing. This is Judges chapter 10, verse 14. Go and cry unto the gods which you have chosen. Let them deliver you in the time of your tribulation. Which those gods won't do. Those gods are fake. They're lies. They're abominations. And they don't exist. So worshiping these guys is just the same as worshiping these false idols. Because going back to... No, I'm actually not even going to use the thing. I'm actually going to try to look for it myself. In 1 Samuel, there's the exact scripture that I want. There we go. Why does it keep going to this damn thing? I want the actual King James version. That is so annoying. Okay, so it's 15, verse 23. For rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry. Because thou hast rejected the word of Yahweh, he has also rejected thee from being king. Which I'm not going to really explain 1 Samuel at the moment. On GMS homework, if you're a beginner, you'll have to read this, so I'd rather you go read it for yourself. But as you can see here, worshiping these guys is rebellion. It's an open act of rebellion against us, against Yahweh power, for serving these and associating these demons such as Benjamin nethanyahoo.com. Alright, that's all I got for today's video. All blessings, honor, and glory be to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai by Hashem HaKadosh. I want to give double honors to my brothers out there, to the elders and apostles, the fellow Akim. Alright, Shalom.